Hello and welcome to Night of 100 Frights NLE tutorial. This tutorial will go over all the skips you need, the snacks you need, and everything to do an NLE run. So, you don't need any skips for this category. However, it's suggested that you use any method to get snacks early, as well as using key skip, soap clip, and Mastermind Phase 1 to skip a couple of small sections. Now the snacks you're going to need for this run are 4,900, as you're going to open every snack gate except for the Coast, the Lighthouse snack gate, and the Monster Gallery snack gate. Now some tips for this run is that I would really understand in the route which rooms you can enter, and really think about, do I need an invention to enter this room? Am I doing something to get it a bounds to go to this room? That way you don't rip your run in the middle. Another thing to take note is that if you're supposed to enter a room from a certain other room, even if it passes through a room you've already gone to, I'm going to use the example of going down which way. To get to Lighthouse 3, you're supposed to come out of Lighthouse 2 into going down which way, and then go to Lighthouse 3. You can at no point in your run go from going down which way straight to Lighthouse 3 without coming from Lighthouse 2. So just keep that kind of stuff in mind when doing your run. Now for the route. So the route's pretty simple. You're going to want to go to Mystic Playground first of all, because you need all the snacks you can get. We do need 4,900 snacks. Once you've done Mystic Playground, you're going to go get the key from Holly as normal and head to Smuggler's Cove to get the springs. You're going to enter Shock 1, Shock 2, and then you're going to go to Fear on the Pier, not the fishy levels. Fear on the Pier, you'll enter to Fear on the Pier 2, and you're allowed to go to 2 and 3. You're not allowed to go to 1 at this point in time. You're going to head back, warp like normal, back to the Mystery Machine, and then we're heading to the Hedge Maze. Now, this is where you can rip your run. You do not want to do Skull Cliff Skip. You're going to go straight through all the hedge levels, and you're going to go right to the helmet, and from there, we're going to warp back again to the Mystery Machine. At this point in time, you will have paid about 4 or 5 snack gates. You're going to head to the Mystic Manor. You're not going to head to Smuggler's Cove and do Fishy Skip, obviously. I mean, you know, Galoshes Skip. You're going to head through the entire manor in order, and you're going to fight the Black Knight and get the Galoshes. Now, from here, you'll be in Cowrin the Tower, and you can warp right out to Fishy. There are a bunch of snack gates here, so make sure you're collecting a lot of snacks. You need a ton of snacks, almost 100% in any area. You're going to go through all of Fishy Clues now, and you're going to enter Fear on the Pier 1. From here, you can go to Fear on the Pier 2 if you want to, but there's no real point unless you feel like doing extra snack collecting. You're going to go through the Fishing Village, aka Coast, and head to going down which way. Now take note, there is a 500 snack gate at the end of Coast and a 450 snack gate at the end of Fishy. From here you can go through Lighthouse, and as I said earlier, you cannot go to Lighthouse 3 straight from going down which way. You have to come in from Lighthouse 2 and then go. Now at this point in time you can pay the 500 snack gate. It's recommended that you didn't, and instead warp to Fishy 2 and come into Creepy Crawlies. Once in Creepy Crawlies, we're just going to make our way to Creepy Crawlies 3 and get the plungers. We are not going to do Redbeard Skip here, obviously. You're technically allowed to do it as long as you don't enter Lab. Don't worry about that. Once you get the plungers, it's best to warp back to Chills and Spills on Haunted Hill Part 3. From here, we can enter Skull Cliff now that we have the Super Smash and won't have to warp out because we have the plungers. You can make it all the way through the hedge levels now. However, normally you do the 600 snack gate skip. We're not going to do that. That skips a level, so we actually have to pay the 600 snack gate in this category. So this section of the run, you're going to be paying about 1,150 snacks. Once you've gotten the umbrella, Now we can go back to Smuggler's Cove. From Smuggler's Cove, we're going to go do the ship levels. These are some of the harder levels in the game, from going down which way, as you can see. These are some of the hardest levels in the game. You're going to want to make sure your snack collection's relatively on point here, because you are going to need to still pay the two most expensive snack gates in the game. The 750 and the 850 are both coming up, and you need to pay both of them. You cannot do 750 skip, as that would skip Shivering Timbers 1. From here, you can actually just go back to the secret passage and warp to Creepy Crawlies. This is the fastest way to do this, and now is when you would do key skip. This is one of the shortest parts of the run. You're going to run through, get the soap. At this point in time, you need 850 snacks, or at least 800 going into lab. I cannot emphasize this enough. You need about 700 to 800 snacks going into lab. You're going to enter lab, and you're going to go, this is very important, you're going to go lab 1, 2, 3, 2, then Mastermind 1. You are not allowed to do Lido skip. You are not allowed to do lab 3 skip. Before I continue, let me just quickly say that if you get to the 850 snack gate and do not have 850 snacks, at this point in time you can warp and travel to any room you want, except you got to make sure in places like Coast, in places like Mastermind, that you do not enter a room out of order. Be very conscious about what rooms you're entering. You do not want to end your run midway through. Some good places to grab snacks I'm going to show you. There's some secrets you can do early, and if you don't do those secrets early, you can always come back to them. The first such place is here in Hedge 2. This has quite a few snacks that are all worth grabbing. Since this snack collection doesn't involve going into another level, this snack collection is completely legal in no levels early, and this is the ideal way to do it, minus the umbrella that you might see pop out. Because we do not actually enter another level and are staying within this level, this is completely legal in no levels early. The next spot I want to talk about is here at Hill. You can actually jump on top of an invisible wall by that arrow and get a bunch of snacks here. Again, since you need so many snacks in the category, you essentially want to aim to 100% some levels as closely as possible. This one's pretty easy to do, since jumping on the arrow, then jumping up to the tree isn't too hard to do, and it gains quite a bit of snacks. Ideally, you're going to use the route I used here, minus the umbrella, of course, which is you want to get yourself down to 1 health, get this soap upgrade, and then Death Abuse, and then finish collecting the rest of the snacks. This, as well as Hill 2. You should try to collect as many snacks as you can without wasting too much time. One of the things that will help you compete with anyone else running this category is if you do not actually have to worry about backtracking and can quickly get all the snacks you need for this route. Next up is Coast Boats, which is a relatively important trick. There are usually a ton of snacks along these boats. I messed up a couple times, so they're not there. But this is one of the places where you can get about 70 snacks, or 50 or 60 snacks, essentially for free, early, that you're not supposed to get. Ideally, you don't want to Death Abuse. Ideally, you want to ride the other boat back, and that's if you do it forward. There's also Coast Boats backwards, which you essentially do by damage abusing off the fish the other way. I'm going to show a Coast Boats forward, which looks like this. Backwards, rather. You essentially just go the opposite way. This isn't doable on Xbox. It should be doable on PlayStation, I think, if you have the invisible fishnet. You should check, though. That's the invisible fishnet. And that's it for most of the heavy snack collecting areas that you go early. Next, I'll be showing a couple of specific tricks. This is Key Skip. You ideally want to collect more of the snacks around the room than I did before you attempt it, and essentially you just jump up into the fire there and mash the X button, and you should be able to get through this door. And once you do that, not only does that skip having to get the keys, it also makes this area over here open without having to get Shaggy, so it does save quite a bit of time, and you're not technically entering a level early. You're going in the same level order. Another set of small time saves are the two in the Mastermind room, Mastermind Unmasked 1 and 2. The first is Soap Clip, in which you use this Funland robot to clip through the wall. This saves about 6 or 7 seconds, so depending on how consistent you are at it, you may want to try it. You essentially use the soap to clip through over here, and you can skip saving Shaggy, which again doesn't change room order, just lets you skip saving Shaggy. Next up is the Mastermind Phase 1 skip. Again, since you're just doing things within the same room, this is technically allowed in no levels early. Now, after Soap Clip, if you didn't die in the acid, you want to take note here. After clipping through the wall, you might be at 1 health, so be careful of the electricity, or else you'll have to do this again. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this has helped you, and good luck during your Hepta relay.